So I call perfectionism the 20-ton shield. We think we carry it around to keep us from being hurt, but what it actually does is it keeps us from being seen. And it is so addictive. You know, we have three kind of pattern responses to shame. We move away by hiding, secret keeping. We move toward by people pleasing, or we move against by using shame and anger to fight shame. I started as a shame researcher 21 years ago, I guess. And I first started studying just women and shame. And I remember interviewing people, you know, in their 50s, 60s, that their whole lives were defined by it. I mean, really defined by it. You know, and for those of you listening thinking, okay, what is she talking about with shame? I'm talking about this deeply painful experience of believing that we're flawed and somehow unworthy of love and belonging and connection, that something we've done or failed to do makes us unworthy. And it's very different than guilt. Guilt is, I did something bad, and shame is, I am bad. And we know from, you know, now probably going on 60, 70 years of research that guilt is helpful. Guilt is when I hold a behavior up against who I want to be and my values, and there's cognitive dissonance. It creates a psychological discomfort. And we're like, that is not who I want to be as a daughter, as a partner, as, you know, a professor, a leader. And I need to bring things into alignment. Shame is a whole different thing. Shame is, I'm not enough. And I absolutely believe people lead entire lifetimes defined by it. I think the good news is, I think what you need is probably self-compassion. I think you need to give yourself permission to be human, to be both kind and cruel, to get it right and to really fuck it up sometimes, to be connected, to be lonely. Just, you have to, I think it's self-compassion that I love. You know, when I think about self-compassion, I always think about talk to myself like I would talk to someone I love. And when I hold up how I talk to myself when I screw something up versus how I talk to my children, it's night and day. If my kids make a mistake, I'll first say, you know what, it's okay, you're human. Making mistakes is a part of who we are. When I make a mistake personally, I think to myself, God, you idiot. God, you're so stupid. And I would never, ever talk to my kids that way. What people don't understand is that where perfectionism drives us, shame is there. So perfectionism is a function of shame. Let's break down perfectionism because it's so helpful to understand it. So the thing to understand is that in the research, in data, and by social psychologists and neurologists and neurobiology people, the opposite of perfectionism is healthy striving or striving for excellence. So for people who are successful at striving for excellence, perfectionism is not the path, it's the greatest barrier. So what perfectionism is actually one of our most dangerous defense mechanisms. Perfectionism says to us, hey, Fern, if you look perfect, work perfect, and do it all perfectly, I can help you avoid ever feeling judgment, blame, criticism, or failure. You just need to do it all perfectly. I'm right here. We can do that. So what it is, it's a defense mechanism against shame, judgment, belittlement, failure. So we try to do it, and inevitably we fail because perfection doesn't exist. But for those of us, and it's really a process addiction, because for those of us, myself included, who struggle with perfectionism, when we make a mistake or when we inevitably, regardless of how well we do something, feel shame, criticism, blame, we don't say to ourselves, man, this shit does not work. I'm not doing this. We say, I wasn't quite perfect enough. So I call perfectionism the 20-ton shield. We think we carry it around to keep us from being hurt, but what it actually does is it keeps us from being seen. And it is so addictive. I think we're so busy chasing down extraordinary moments that we miss all of the happiness and joy that's contained in ordinary moments. And I think I was one of those people too. I think I used to have, especially maybe in my 30s, a real fear of a small life. And it's interesting because in the interviewing I've done as a researcher, I've done interviews and focus groups with people who have, God, they've just survived, genocide. A focus group of parents of kids who were killed or young adults who were killed in 9/11, kids who have died of cancer, really hard, people who've survived very hard things. And I remember in those interviews, no one talked about the grief of missing what they believed would be the big, extraordinary moments that are not going to happen now. What people said to me was, they were things like, God, I miss the sound of the screen door slamming when my kids went to the backyard to play. I missed the text I would get from my mom where you couldn't make heads or tails of what she was saying. Like, she didn't really understand how to use the text, and she tried to use code with the emoji, and it would make me crazy. She'd blow up my phone at work, and I would kill for just one more text from her. And it's these everyday, ordinary moments that, and this is like, I just even get goosebumps talking about it, that we steamroll right over those moments, looking for big moments. But yet, when we inevitably experience loss and grief in our lives, it can really be defined by the loss of normalcy. those moments that I didn't even pay attention to, that put a smile maybe not on my face, but on my heart, are gone now. And I never stopped to count them as meaningful. If you think of pain as energy, it's not going anywhere. And so it's much easier in our culture today to cause pain than to feel pain. But in this world where everybody puts their vulnerabilities out, we know how to hurt people. And so when we've got pain and we've got this energy in us, it's so much easier to ball it up or fashion it into a weapon and hurt other people. Unfortunately, most of us often lash out at the people we love the most, who are the closest, our partners. Sometimes we'll spare our children, but go straight for the partners. It's that saying that I think is true in many ways. Hurting people can hurt people, healed people heal people. I think we're so shit at holding people accountable that we turn to shaming and vitriol and name calling because we either don't know how or we're not willing to do the really rigorous, vulnerable work of holding people accountable. And so what we do, instead of saying, when you engage in this behavior, or when you said this, or when you took this action, it hurt me or it hurt other people, and I'm going to hold you accountable for that. We just blast them. And so there's no learning. It's incredible. The absence of accountability is so overwhelming, but it's so pervasive. It's like asking a fish to describe water. Like we don't even understand it. So what we do is we just get rid of people. And I think what's really important is this idea that if we don't have the language for what we're feeling and we're overwhelmed by emotion that we cannot name or articulate, will have a very difficult, if not impossible, time understanding whether we should be stepping into accountability or normalizing a behavior, to your point, because we don't have the language. We have three kind of pattern responses to shame. We know this from the research. This is from research from Wellesley, the Stone Center. We move away by hiding, secret keeping, we move toward by people pleasing, or we move against by using shame and anger to fight shame and not respond in a way that moved me out of my values and really did some damage. Now I'm back on my emotional feet. So now I get to choose who I want to be. My crazy ass emotions are not choosing for me. I'm choosing. And that's why having a vocabulary for emotion and experience that's as expansive as our actual emotions and experiences is.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Is vitally important because language is a portal. It's our most important portal, actually, to new choices, second chances. Can we feel what's happening? I mean, they call emotions feelings because we feel them in the body first. The body is the first indicator light of what's going on. So for me, when something shaming happens, immediately I know, for me, shame means time slows down. I go into tunnel vision. My mouth gets dry. My armpits tingle. I start putting things on a loop that I can't get out of. So I think when we talk about connection to self, it's really about self-awareness. Are we connected with our bodies? Do we understand, like, hey, something's off?